What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Ryan and Brian's excellent Halloween Horror Nights podcast. Ryan, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great, Brian. How are you?
Oh, it's gonna be a high energy. I'm feeling it, Ryan.
Well, you're bringing the energy for the both of us.
I am, and you know why? You know what we got this week, Ryan?
What did we get this week?
Oh, we got the Spec Map. Everybody knows it.
Spec Map.
We did get the first Spec Map after our last episode where it's like, hey, things are quiet. We don't know what's going on. Spec Map drops. And it's interesting. There's a lot. Still quiet though.
We get symbols again this year.
We get symbols. I like that. It's fun. Makes Spec Map season a lot of fun. This is version 1. Some things that we already kind of called right out of the gate that everybody's feeling confident about, but then some other surprises that are bringing a lot of people into conflict on what they think it means. But
yes.
Ryan, it's been maybe 2 weeks, I think, since our last episode.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
We're in March, in the middle of March, potentially no dates, but we have. There's an image I'm looking at on the map here, Ryan. There is something coming out this weekend that might be relative to an image on this map. Are we?
Be the reason we're recording this episode to make sure that we get it out before something gets announced.
The next time we talk, I might have stuff booked, man, and I'm freaking out. I've been in a rough place. Let me level with you guys.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be on one of my favorite vacations, ski vacation all week, out on Breckenridge, Keystone, Vale, but we got sick. I missed all of it. I was down and out, feeling, just, oh, woe is me, first world pride, and this Spec Map. And I've just been diving into it, Ryan. I've been watching scary stuff. I've been listening to Ice Nine Kills, Welcome, Straight Outta Horrorwood or whatever it is. All the scary stuff. Big fan. What is your initial reaction to this map?
My initial reaction is I'm interested. There are some IPs that we'll get to that I'm interested to see what they decide to do with them. Yeah. I think, like in previous years, depending on the take, will depend on whether I like it or not, because I feel like you could go a very creative route and you could go a very generic horror route. And depending on which take you do will depend on my excitement. So,
you know what stood out to me on this map more than anything else, Ryan?
The fact that there's no parade building.
We saw that might be coming. That was on my radar. But something that we said in our last episode.
What, the show and animal actors?
Literally, we were like, give us animal actors. Yep. And Ryan, we might have animal actors. We got 2 shows, and it's not a Lagoon show.
That is pretty exciting.
Crazy.
I did take note of that, and it's an IP.
And it's an IP, which is, I'm so confused. There's some weird rumors, and they're matching coast to coast. But let's go to the front of the park, Ryan. We're just gonna get into this. Let's get into the Spec Map. This is. I got all this stuff behind me. I have one very specific thing right up there.
It's all obscene though, so we have to blur it out. Yeah,
it's blurred out. It's not all unblurred.
It's like when you go back to the Spencers and you're just like, no, don't go back there.
I don't want to look at that. I have a candle. I'm not lighting it until the season officially starts, and the season officially starts when I have my trip booked. But
man, we got so many things. I'm so hyped that we actually get to kind of go over this. And let's go to the very first image on the map. We're talking Soundstage 23A.
We have
the entire country of South America and Central America, to be fair, too.
Central America, yeah.
It's going to be the largest house in the history of Horror Nights.
Oh, what do you make of this out of the gate? Now, there's a lot of strong rumors here. When I saw it, I thought of one thing specifically just because I was jealous of it last year, Ryan. But where are you on this?
Not much to go on, I will say, for it being a map inside of a map. Mapception, as some people are calling it.
It is Mapception.
It's probably it's got to be an original. It's probably got something to do with jungle or whatever, but I think you have probably some rumors or ideas of what you think it might be.
I do, and I went to the forum straight away, and I saw a few people toss this title out, and this was a house that I was really envious, and we got to get Kieran on here because he actually got to go through this house last year, and I'm talking about Monstrous, the monsters of Latin America. It'd be really cool. I don't know enough. When I saw that, I was like, wait, because spoiler alert, I got through high school without ever taking a geography class. It really burned me. So this doesn't feel super relevant.
the main thing would be like that's interesting, and they did have it at Hollywood last year,
Right.
But to
And this could
have
be just
on
a
the map
throw-off.
that you have mainly South America highlighted,
That's
with
the
yes,
part
Latin
that's
America's in
throwing-
there as well, but
Right.
But
it's
I would
not
also-
it's not the main thing.
but if they did a large house that was based off monsters of Latin and
Oh,
South
there's-
America, that would be
there's a
pretty
lot.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think we could see them expand on it because the whole Latin America thing and La Llorona and all that is very West Coasty.
Yeah.
It's very relevant to them. We could see the Orlando event really open this up, but something that bothers me overall about this map, Ryan, and this is why I'm digging deep, and you'll see a theme with my line of thinking. Everything is way too obvious. All
Okay.
all the symbols are so on the nose. I think we're being not bamboozled, but like they're all so obvious. Aside from the ones that nobody knows about, that it's just like, okay, like obviously speaking about the next one and the one after that, you
Yeah.
know, is it that easy? Do we really like? So that's all I'm gonna say. That's why.
We say it every spec season. Things are going to change. Things are going to be different. Things are going to be adjacent to what you thought they were going to be. It's going to be like, oh, yes, I guess that did originally base itself off this, but it's going to be a little bit different. So
That's something that
I've learned to hold these loosely. And unless there's an IP that I'm like desperate to have, I don't get too locked in on there. So, and I'll say this year, there's some that I'm interested in for sure, but there isn't one that I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right.
Game changer.
It's not game changer, but it's the one that makes the most sense to me, and we'll obviously get to it. But let's talk about the next icon, Ryan. Everyone's kind of talking Dracula on this one. This is Soundstage 22. We've got this skull face with fangs, but yeah, no, I don't know.
It's so they've been doing Universal Monsters every year, and it's very interesting. Hello.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi.
No, I'm good. Sorry, my wife
Are
walked
you
in.
good?
I would say because it's got like fangs.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of where my mind went, but I don't know what the icons are, so I'm like, I don't know.
All right. So it's indifferent if we think it is actually Dracula or not,
The
but
focus gets weird on this thing. You have to like
yeah, it
sometimes,
does.
Yeah.
get like super close.
Get
to
your
it
hand and then pull it back.
And, like,
Miss
always
you
does that
guys.
when I'm on calls.
Is Leah going to actually be on the episode this year?
Is Leah
bailed
going to
on
be
us
on an
last
episode
year.
this year? She bailed on us last year. I think maybe she'll guest
did
on the next episode.
She did the car ride with you, but that's not what I wanted.
She says she can
That's
guest
not
on the
what we
next
wanted.
episode.
Okay.
So
What
Sick.
I do?
you're on the predictions episode, so you're officially part of the predictions.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, you heard it here. Accountability.
Yep. We're back in focus. So.
I can leave now.
Okay. Yeah,
I
thank
love
you.
Mwah.
Aw.
Oh,
guys,
and
that's a healthy
it lost
relationship.
the focus now. Oh.
Oh man. Okay. It was
And
a
for
kiss.
anybody who doesn't
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you're hearing and look because this where the video is going up. This is the biggest redemption arc in the world. That was someone who did not like Halloween Horror Nights years ago.
We go to
and
video
now-
podcast, and all of a sudden now this thing can't get focused.
Now it can't get focused. I
You
like
know,
seeing your
obviously,
hand
there's
though.
ways,
I
like,
can read your
there's a way to,
palm.
like, manually adjust
No, there
things.
isn't.
Probably it's not that.
No, you got to
No.
go to DSLR.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Bye, Brian.
So bye. I miss you guys. Can't wait to see you. So it's indifferent. Is it Dracula? Is it not?
So I think it is something like vampire related, at least.
Okay. Do you think it?
But
Even
so what I
though-
think it might be is, and I saw this. I don't remember where I saw this, but honestly, once I saw that it was IP and Dracula,
Yeah.
I'm thinking we might get Demeter.
So a lot of people are saying Demeter. A year late, but you know why? It'd be a great house. They do.
It's part of Dracula lore to begin with, so like you could have that.
Right.
The hard thing is this, and I was going to say this before she walked in, but like there's some confusion right now, at least for me, because they've been doing this Universal Monsters thing. They have a plot line going as far as that,
Right.
but it has nothing to do with what they're doing over at the new park. So
Right.
to me, and the new park opens next year, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to continue the Horror Night storyline or not. I don't think they
Right.
will.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. And we don't really have anything else on here aside from the unknowns that screams Universal Monsters House. And you know, we had 3 solid years. Now, here's my question: we have a movie coming out called Dracula: Rise of the Vampire.
Okay.
Coming out this year.
Who makes it?
Do we think? We'll have to learn that. But do we think that there's a movie involved?
I mean,
It's a UK film. which would be weird, but
Possibly.
also that's a huge market for them.
And actually, I just remembered, this is actually pretty shocking that it's not on here. And maybe it could. I mean, it's not really like a vampire skull, but
I don't know any of these production companies, but
Blumhouse is releasing a Wolfman movie later this year. So I was
going to bring that up too. Blumhouse has Wolfman coming. Is this just a Universal Monsters house and it's getting a soundstage?
I mean, quite possibly.
Okay.
I just
also,
we all want the creature. We want some more. We want some more monsters. So
we all want more monsters.
To already go back to Dracula.
Yeah, we've had Dracula
and just have Dracula himself. Like I would like more.
My favorite soundstage scare from my first years of going was a Dracula house somewhere in these. It was like one of those sound stages. It was an amazing. The hallway scare is what. You guys have heard me talk about it for years. When I talk about my first big Halloween Horror Night scare, there's two on this map. The first one being Dracula, the Dracula house. So I want it to be Dracula.
Wait, is Monster Squad finally coming to Horror Nights?
Get your fam back on here, man. It's happening.
Yep.
My God.
They just had a 4K restoration, so you know.
What if it is? It's not. But what if? This could be a big Monsters house. But the only thing that's throwing me is it's in the big IP location.
Yes,
it's in the big sound stage. So I don't know, man. I'm conflicted.
Yeah,
because right next door is another huge IP.
Yes.
And this one is weird to me because
this one's all but guaranteed at this point.
It is all but guaranteed, but what iteration are we talking? Because this is Soundstage 23B. We've got a Cadillac Cadillac symbol, and it's obviously Ghostbusters is what they're hinting at here. But which one? I was Team Frozen 3 Empire thing, Penguin narration by, I'm just kidding, but like people are saying 1 and 2.
I saw that people were mentioning that it might be a 1 or 2 mashup, and that I was always for Ghostbusters coming back. I actually really enjoyed the first house. I know some people...
Do you care how it comes back?
I don't really care. Okay. Don't at me. I wouldn't want Lady Ghostbusters.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't want Lady Ghostbusters, but I'm fine.
Right here, you see? This is what we're talking about earlier.
But in any other form, I like if it was a Afterlife Frozen Empire house, I would look forward to it. I would definitely do it. You give me 1 and 2, and I'm way more excited.
Now, that's a lot. That's a topic for. We'll wait till the announcement. I think that's a fair take.
1 was like, I mean, it's a little soon to be doing 1 again.
Yeah,
but I also have a lot of nostalgia and really enjoyed the second one. Is it as good as the first one? No. But there's lots of iconic things in there. You could go in the Statue of Liberty.
Right.
You have Vigo. You have all kinds of different. You have the courtroom scene. There's lots of things that you can do. The slime.
The first house was we had a terrible experience in it 3 out of 4 runs. It wasn't until the last run with you that I saw how good that house was. And aesthetically, obviously, it was amazing.
And also, we know they have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like we have, they already have those props. So like, they can reuse a lot of things for that.
Is this in focus? No, it's still going to blur it. Hey.
But honestly,
it's Ghostbusters. It's a Ghostbusters.
In whichever form.
I want Frozen Empire. I don't care. I don't want the originals. I'm sorry. I want the new one.
We'll see. I got to see the new one, but it does look scary.
Maybe it's a hot take. I want a scary Ghostbusters house. Last house wasn't scary.
I could see that. Yeah.
The one room where all the ghosts, the black light, where they kind of did the old school 3D dark, whatever that first 3D house was. First, second. I don't know. Anyway, I want that room was awesome.
Yeah.
But everything else was like Stranger Things house or Beetlejuice house. Like it's scenic and it's cool. I don't know. That's the one I feel good about. I think we're getting it this week, Ryan.
I think so as well. I mean, I was having a conversation earlier with Leah about it, and I'm like, the movie comes out Friday.
Yeah. I'll be blown away.
And I'm like, they need to release dates. They need to release the date soon.
All right. You know what? I'm going AWOL here, Ryan. We aren't doing our prediction episode yet, but that's going to be on my list in case it happens.
Is what?
We can't fact check. I think we get Ghostbusters this week. Take that for your prediction. I beat you.
Is that your first prediction?
That's my first prediction. I'm calling it.
Okay.
All right.
Wait,
All right.
we're getting a Ghostbusters house announcement, right?
Yeah.
This week.
This week.
Okay, so end of day Friday.
End of day Sunday. That's not how weeks work.
We know they're not going to announce on a weekend.
They've done it before randomly. All right.
So
I get Sunday, 11:59 p.m.
I mean, you called it, so I mean, like, that's fine. I mean, I would say it's a fair call, you know.
I think you were gonna say it too. I'm stealing it. Ryan has won 3 years in a row, guys. I got him a consolation gift. Nothing he wanted or asked for, but that's how I do. Let's go to the next.
I know, and then I sent you something I actually wanted. So
yeah.
Which we won't say. It'll just show up back here the next time we podcast. It'll be right there.
If I cough this episode, it's because, again, I was sick all week with the flu. But we're going on to what I think is the most sneaky secret house that no one's talking about.
I don't know anything. I just know it's like a little funny looking skull thing.
No, it's a little skull thing. Look, I was playing with my son's Nintendo Lego figures, and that skull
is very reminiscent of a Nintendo skull, but that's not it. That's not what it is, okay? A lot of people are, saying different originals. Some people think it's a IP that they're being sneaky with. Heard a good theory from a very special guest that appears on here that it could be Beetlejuice. The two different skulls. Here's what it is. Now, what soundstage is this again?
24A.
Oh, 24A. What if we move that A in front of the 24?
You could have A24.
Oh, are we getting the A24 house finally?
Oh my, that's it. That's all I have. I have no idea what this is, Ryan.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe
you had me going there. I was like, all right.
I've got nothing. And I don't know if other people do other people have stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know. Some sort of original.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about what the original could be. Here's the two I want. Excuse me. Here's the two that I've waited for. Two franchises within the Halloween Horror Nights universe that I have not seen, and a good one, Rob Dole, who you threw this one out. Because obviously everybody goes to the black and white
tribute store last year. Is it Legendary Truth? Are we getting a Boris continuation? Side note, I would love to see a redo of the Legendary Truth house with plexiglass, because I thought that house was terrifying and had so much potential. Is it going to go that route? I don't know. Rob made a good call out, and I've been reading all the content. Is there something in Slaughter Cinema that this could be reminiscent of? Could it somehow be referencing Slaughter Cinema? I don't know. I want that. I've been wanting
Slaughter Cinema 2 for a while.
Or Scary Tales. We need another Scary Tales, Ryan.
We need Slaughter Cinema 2 before we need Scary Tales again.
Well, I agree with you there, but both would be a huge win.
Or you do them both.
Oh my God, I don't know about that.
I'm like something in between.
So do we agree that we don't need another Legendary Truth before we need a Slaughter Cinema and Scary Tales?
Correct. I mean, I'm fine with Legendary Truth coming back, but I want Slaughter Cinema too. And how much have they milked Slaughter Cinema?
I mean, that feels like a trick question. I would say not at all, but also a ton because of the Yetis.
Yeah, true.
So. Yeah, the Yeti slapped last year. It was so good. Yep. Obviously, one of the best houses of all time. So, I don't know. Speaking of originals, so that could be anything at this point. We don't know. It's got a clue, so somebody knows, not us. And people are discussing it. But right next door is another super obvious on the nail on the head. That's why I don't believe this map, dude. It's everything's so obvious. Are we seeing a what was the scare zone?
It was like Sweet Treats.
Sweet Treats. Yeah, we've seen them turn scare zones into
and it's in the same location too.
Same location. That scare zone was amazing. Don't get me wrong. Top tier scare zone. Absolutely loved it. We've seen them do scare zones to houses several times.
Yeah.
My favorite iteration being Saws and Steams, but it'd be a fun house. I'm all for a fun house.
We could also do Trick or Treat.
It could be Trick or Treat again. I would love to see that. Anything else?
Willy Wonka? Is Wonka coming? Yeah.
There was that Wonka experience everyone's been kind of joking about.
Dark Wonka
would be amazing. Or the, thrown together terrible overseas Wonka. I don't know. As long as we have like a fun house,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. But man, I don't know. Those are our sound stages. Overall, I feel encouraged. I think they're big. They've got merit to them. They have symbols. It's not just unknown, right?
Yeah.
So
Unlike the next one.
Unlike the next one, which is unknown IP. And this is the Fast and Furious house, Ryan. So you don't heard the transition.
Leah's not crazy about it. I feel like if it's used well,
Has it been used well?
So I think so. Because like Blumhouse, it made a natural sense. The main thing I didn't like was usually Blumhouse was a house that I did earlier on in the night.
Right.
So you're just blasted with sunlight when you walk in between.
Yeah.
Last year, I thought it originally was not used well. But then towards the end of the season, when they added the actor to actually like.
Which we got to see and I loved it.
I felt like it was a lot better used when they did that.
It is a jarring transition, especially the time of day you do it. But I think you're right. I think, something I'm jealous of in California, there's at least one house, there might be more, that goes outside for part of the house. And I think that's so cool.
Holidays and
Holidays went outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I remember that.
And I think that's where we get a little bitter, where it's like, hey, use this more at this point. Like if we're gonna go outside, do something with it.
Yeah. Make it part of the experience.
There's also a big rumor with this space that this ride is done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fast and Furious is closing down in August. Well, okay. We're trying to be positive here, Ryan. But yeah, no one will miss it.
No.
If we could get the roller coaster that Anaheim is getting, that'd be super dope too. But yeah, so do we think them closing it affects HHN at all?
I mean, I would absolutely love if they actually got to go on the inside. One of my favorite haunt experiences I ever had. Oh, that was a bold statement, but you know what? I'll stick with it.
It is.
Was did you ever get to do? Were you shooting?
Nope, I wasn't. I already know what you're going to say, and I wasn't.
When they had the house inside a dark castle?
Inside a dark castle. And the other one they had inside of Pompeii.
I did the one inside Pompeii, and I liked it, but I mean, I remember going to and being like, I'm in Dark Castle right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the actual ride. It'd be like walking through a house that's inside Mummy.
Yeah, no, that's super. What he's referencing, we got to do some bush stuff, and they actually used part of the ride track, right?
You got to walk through.
That's cool. See, that's super awesome. And it's reminiscent of when they did Islands, because people got to go inside of Poseidon. Oh my God, I'm so sad. Is it going to be Zelda? Who knows? Anyway, but yeah, if they actually used the space inside of Fast and Furious, we could have some gargantuan sets and some amazing stuff. But you and I like rides, and we like haunts. So combining the two, and you getting to walk on the track in Dark Castle, which already had its own atmosphere. I mean, that's so cool. I would love to see that. But I don't know. Let's say it says unknown IP. So let's just say it's Blumhouse. Okay.
Well, have you heard the other rumor for that location?
No.
Something you've been asking for quite a while.
Gremlins. If it's Gremlins, I'll lose my freaking mind, dude. I said last episode, I think.
Yeah.
We already saw Chucky. We saw the puppets. Now, how can they do gremlin puppets and not Creature of the Black Lagoon costumes? I don't know. But, dude, if it's Gremlins, I'm out. That's number one. I don't care. That's what I've wanted for years. I haven't heard that, dude.
I heard that.
Gremlins 1 and 2.
You could do them both, yeah. You could have the googly-eyed gremlin. The one singing New York, New York.
I'm all in on this now. I'm all in.
Except now I kind of want a scare zone for gremlins with the gremlins singing New York, New York in New York.
In New York, yeah.
But
luckily, we don't know any of this.
I was going to say, there's no image or anything like that. I don't even remember where I saw that. But
let's say it's Blumhouse. Obviously, you got Wolfman. I don't know.
They wouldn't do Wolfman in Fast and Furious. That'd be a mistake.
No, it would be a mistake unless they did another monster.
What's the one that just came out that no one's talking about? I thought there was one in theaters right now.
Night Swim?
No, well, Night Swim, no.
Night Swim was terrible.
There's another one that came out.
Imaginary.
Yeah, Imaginary.
Imaginary, didn't do well.
Because I think it's just Imaginary and Wolfman this year for Blumhouse.
Yeah. Well, no, they also have this weird remake that I'm trying to figure out research on. Speak No Evil, which is a film that
With
came out
Kane?
in 20. Yeah, it came out in 2022, and they're already remaking it.
Oh.
And I don't understand why. That's kind of the craziest remake I've ever heard. I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Was it like a foreign language film?
I'm just reading remake of Speak No Evil 2022. A family invited to spend weekend in an idyllic country house go from dream vacation to psychological nightmare. So I don't. Why would they remake a movie 2 years afterwards? Was the original in a different language? Maybe. But that's it. Yeah, they don't have that much this year. We have, Megan and other stuff, but 3 next year, but I don't think we're getting anything a year early. So it's Gremlins. I check.
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's
confirmed.
Are you going to throw out another prediction right now? Next week?
Nope. Not going to do it. We're going to move on to the best returning addition to Halloween Horror Nights. That gave me 2 of my favorite scenic moments in a scare zone last year. Talk about the Death Eaters. They're back, Ryan. The Death Eaters are back.
The Death Eaters are back.
And I had 2 phenomenal moments with them. They're hard to see. Their show's a little weird. But if you could get them when they're just kind of walking around doing their thing, that is one of the most immersive.
I didn't get to experience them last year, but I'm hoping since they're returning that it's not going to be as crowded. Quite as crowded. It's going to be crowded, but because both. I think I tried 2 or 3 times to go in there, and every time it was like wall-to-wall people. So I wasn't even able to see anything.
Yeah, no, they were hard to see. I'll give you that. But that's really cool. And then we have a show. There's a fire symbol. Who knows what that could be? I
know, some sort of fire over in the Bill and Ted's theater.
Who knows? Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about this one because people are.
All right, the hot discussion of the night, probably.
The hot discussion, because I can't wait. I hope we're thinking the same thing. But Ryan, what do you think about all the speculation about this? This is our first Sprung, too, right?
I know, yeah.
And we're getting technically for Sprung's house this year, we think. That construction, we mentioned this last time, but people took pictures of. Okay, we got a lot to go up. Ryan, are you ready to walk? We thought. Okay, so last year. I made the joke that everybody needs to stop talking about how far the walks are because Universal just sees it as a challenge.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you think that's far? We're going to move the entrance to the other side of Men in Black. So this year we're like, wow, the Sprungs are really far. And so the parade buildings are like, no. Check this out. We're going to build new Sprungs twice as far.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Anyway, so that's crazy. But what do you think about this IP?
Soon enough, there's going to be the HHN 5K. And it's just going to be called going to HHN every night.
We got it, dude. HHN shape is real this year, but we're getting in it. Ryan's been working out like crazy. I've been going to F45. We're getting in shape for freaking Halloween Horror Nights because we're going to walk a 10K. Ryan, what do you think about this IP? It's obviously super obvious what it is, but what if it's not?
Wait, is it not?
If it's not, I don't know. Devil's advocate here.
All right, so
it's not.
This was rumored before the map even came out. It's been rumored for a little bit. So we're guessing it's Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm.
So I referenced this in the beginning of the episode. This is the one I was talking about. So I feel like you really, if this is coming for real, you got 2 avenues.
Okay.
You have the generic horror of just okay, you go in the house and you have the monsters jumping out at you.
Right. And they're scary. I'll give them that.
They're scary, but the thing is this, is I'm a firm believer in trying to stick to the IP and what it is. And the Quiet Place isn't about the monsters. It's about the feeling of being quiet and the tension there. So I actually had some ideas on this. I'll throw quickly by you, but I want them to try it. It's Horror Nights. You can't keep people quiet.
Right.
But
especially in a Sprung.
But try to make it not just like you're going through the movie and just things jumping out at you. I was like, what if they gave because in the past they've actually given people items. Right. What if they gave you an item that could randomly go off in the house, and if that happened, then people went after you? That's just off the top of my head, but try to be creative about it, because if you just
more practical than what I was thinking.
If you just do the basic thing, I don't think it's going to work.
It's going to be repetitive.
And I won't be hyped for it at all.
Yeah, I think it'll be scary. That concept, if they just go with what it is, it lends itself to like a low scale Yeti house, essentially, right? It's going to be woods. It's going to be cities. It's going to be Last of Us, just with these monsters jumping out.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've had 3D houses before and they've handed out glasses. Ryan, what if they hand out noise canceling headphones and you're walking through and it's silent? No.
The cleaning would be the thing on that, but like that is the exact thing. Even if it tanks,
just something, man.
Like even if the idea tanks, I want them to try.
Now, here's my question to you, because there were 2 haunted houses I got to go through, local haunted houses, and in the second half of the house, they had no sound effects, no triggers, nothing. It was dead silent, but you were pulsed in groups. Can a sprung house work that way? Because I know, and I worked in a sprung house. You can hear everything.
Yeah.
It's all very chaotic. Imagine just a dead silent house,
Don't get me too excited there.
Yeah. So that's what I want to transition to. People are saying 2 things here, Ryan. They're saying what you just said and Silent Hill.
Oh,
so,
I was going to say, wait, is dead silence room?
So no. That's my theory.
Okay.
Last year was the 15th anniversary.
My head would explode if
so that's the one I'm coming.
You would hear me screaming.
This is the one I'm coming at you with, Ryan. Last year was the Dead Silence 15th anniversary. What if we get that? Nobody is even talking about it. Nobody even thinks about it. No one would remember it. But what if? What if just for us, Ryan?
It is a very fondly remembered house.
It is. People said it's one of the best.
So, and it's an IP. I mean, Silent Hill would. I mean, yeah, like Silent Hill would work.
Yeah, in a sprung though, I don't know.
That's where I'm like, I don't think that they would do that. But yeah, to be fair, they put Silent Hill in a soundstage before.
Yeah.
So, like,
and we also have Return to Silent Hill coming out this year.
Is that a video game?
No, it's a movie.
Oh.
Yeah, they actually have another Silent Hill movie coming out. Hopefully it's way better than the last one. But we do have Return to Silent Hill coming out. So we have 2 viable options and 1 pipe dream super wish.
I like how in our podcast, the pipe dream like hype is the movie that's 15 years old.
15 years old. Give us Dead Silence.
That's already been there once.
It's already been there once. But hey, so is a lot of other stuff. But yeah, there's a few options. I'm going to remain hopeful. I'm going to remain.
Now my hype is off the charts for Dead Silence coming.
I didn't even want to say it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, Dead Silence. Everyone's like, Quiet Place. I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. But we have 3 IPs. If it's not one of those, I'll be shocked. Yeah. Honestly, if it's not one of those, really, really crazy. But let's move on to the original Unknown Sprung 2.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, wasn't the creature from the Willy Wonka thing called the Unknown?
He was. Could you imagine?
All right. Then we have some sort of type of bull thing.
Minotaur, and let's go back to something I referenced early in the episode, Ryan, and my good buddy Austin, and who else was there? Was it Brighton? Someone was there. This is what led to the best scare at Halloween Horror Nights for me. Hades, the house Hades was unbelievable. One of the best originals that we've never seen a sequel to. Costumes were phenomenal. You had Medusa, you had Minotaurs, you had dinosaurs, you had everything. It was a generic concept that allowed for so much. The set design was incredible, but the Minotaur scare, Ryan.
Yeah.
First time I've ever dropped to the ground at Halloween Horror Nights. And the mirror scare was so good. I did not know how it worked. I didn't understand it. And so we took our friend, after explaining to him how the mirror scare worked, how we thought it worked.
Yeah.
And we pointed it out. We're like, hey, look. But what we did not know was we didn't know how it worked. And there was a second path. And I will never forget the Minotaur coming at me with the axe. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know all this mythological creature stuff. But if we get a house like that with it, this is a Yeti house in my mind, Ryan. This is a Yeti house through and through. It's an original based on a creature design that was absolutely terrifying
in the original house. I've not seen them reuse it. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of it. Let's do it. And we talked about this last time. I didn't want to see the Sprungs go away because they offer such a unique variety compared to the sound stages and parade houses. But now we have 4, and now I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I will. So, if indeed the parade building is gone, it will be missed. I have a lot of fond memories in that building. So,
I thought you were going to say more. I'm sorry.
well,
yeah. Will you miss the walk?
Maybe we do a tribute episode. For the parade building.
For all the parade, rank all the trick or treat. Let's go. All right, and finally on to Sprung 4. Another intellectual property that somebody matched the logo to perfectly. This was one of your first predictions.
I know.
This is you called this before anybody even was thinking of this, which is crazy. Pretty sure I saw someone steal your exact words on a forum. We're not going to talk about that because we all steal from each other. That's what Horror Nights is about.
I'm like more like someone listened to the podcast.
Or someone listen. I don't care. Take the credit. Just listen to us. No.
Someone said they were close to me.
We're of course talking about Wolfman again. The thumbnail moon.
Yeah.
The eclipse. This is all about the eclipse. No, this is Nightmare on Elm Street, Ryan.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Not in a soundstage.
The thing is this. I will forever believe in sprung tents after going through the original Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
I
never got to see that first
especially one. For like those like classic 80s slashers, it's like it can be done.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good call. And actually, if you look at Nightmare on Elm Street and the fire, it does lend itself to a sprung more than it does the big sets.
Yeah, for sure. And that would be very exciting to have that because the thing is that you're just having fun now.
Yeah, I can't censor it. Why does that not get censored?
I know.
I'll cut that.
No. But with Nightmare on Elm Street, like to actually just have the original movie there because they've had the character here a bunch, but to just have the whole movie represented like they did Halloween, which would then get me really hyped for when they do a Friday the 13th house, just Friday the 13th movie.
Just as right, yeah, because we've seen the combos and we've seen all those characters in Freddy versus Jason, but a Freddy house would be awesome. I think it would work really, really well.
Honestly, I would say if that's out of the ones that we've talked about, probably be my most hyped house.
Yeah, and I personally think Ghostbusters makes sense as a soundstage, and I think Nightmare on Elm Street makes sense as a sprung house.
Yeah.
And I saw the new Nightmare on Elm Street at Universal at City Walk, and I thought, why is this not at Halloween Horror Nights? And then we also have all the scare zones. They seem pretty straightforward and rides, nothing out of the normal.
I guess the one last thing is that show and Animal Actors.
Yeah, the Animal Actors show is crazy. We got it.
So what logo do you see there?
I see a castle.
You see a castle, huh?
I see a castle, Ryan. What do you see?
I don't know. It's something with a white outline.
Uh-huh.
And it's a castle.
Oh, White Castle. Dude, their burgers are gross. I get why that'd be a show.
Why it'd be a horror experience.
Yeah, no, dude, Harold and Kumar makes no sense, but neither did Bill and Ted's. So is this the new Bill and Ted's, Ryan?
That is the exact evolution that I went through because when I saw it, I was like, sweet, show Animal Actors. That's amazing. Something I've been calling for a while.
A long time.
Next thing you know, they're going to open up the horror makeup show at night too and do a PG-13 version of the show.
That would be awesome too.
But so I was like, great, they're doing that. And I was like, oh, but Harold and Kumar. And I'm like, but you didn't care about Bill and Ted before you saw the Bill and Ted show.
Right.
So really, it's like,
now I will always, I'm not a Harold and Kumar fan.
No.
I was in college when it came out. I love Bill and Ted's, but people bringing that argument up, it makes no sense. I'm like, well, neither did Bill and Ted's.
Yeah.
We need a new show. We need a comedy show. We need a show that fills that void. That's not just dance and fire and magic. I obviously want it to be a horror show or a Lagoon show. We've seen more drone testing, whatever. And they've been building out the Lagoon for a Lagoon show. If they get it, great. If not, whatever. But we need people to go somewhere. And if there's a funny Halloween show hosted by two new age comedians,
let's do it.
Fine. Yeah,
Yep, I'll do it. If Harold and Kumar are there, I'll go do it.
Yeah.
Give it a shot at least.
I have my X, formerly known as Twitter, up, and I just saw a post from A&A Thrills. I don't know when this came. 6/27/3/12. Okay, a few days ago. Seeing this instantly reminded me of the Tribute Store Comics fan shirt. Oh, interesting. See, I hadn't seen that yet. From the Tribute Store window.
Okay.
The skull 100%. Oh, okay. I'm more sold on this, Ryan. Shout out to A&A Thrills. This picture, yeah, I'm whatever that shirt was for the Tribute Store last year in the window. It's the same skull.
Okay.
100%. Okay. I don't know why that just popped up in my feed out of nowhere, but now I changed my mind, and that's whatever that is. Again, Legendary Truth, Boris, Slaughter. We don't know. They can go anywhere with this lore. Yeah. That's it. What do you think? What do you think of the year?
So, I mean, definitely interesting. I mean, you and I are there's a lot of strength in the IPs, or not in the IPs, the originals.
The originals.
Sorry. Well, you and I have become more original people than anything else, and so great.
And we've never really. You can guess and you can kind of gauge, and I totally called Blood Moon being incredible. But you don't know what the originals are going to be or how they're going to be, right?
What take they're going to do? Is it going to be funny? Is it going to be straight up horror? Is it going to be slapstick?
Right. So half the event you won't know until it opens.
Yeah.
But IPs, as far as IPs go, and I said this last year, what's left?
Yeah.
They've done all of them. They've done all the white whales.
Well, I mean, like you have ones like The Conjuring. They're saving Jaws for next year. Well, it's going to be the 50th next year. If they don't do Jaws, they're never doing Jaws.
They're never doing Jaws. But for real, the last 8 years, we've gotten every IP that I've ever wanted at this event. I can't, aside from it, I can't think of a major IP. I mean, we got Shining and Trick or Treat, and I mean, we Jordan Peele's films. I mean, we got everything. That freaking Haunting of Hill House. That was it. That was peak. So I don't have anything left that, aside from also the one that we talked about last time, was a Five Nights at Freddy's. Is the only other one that made sense.
Yeah.
And Dead Space, but they already kind of did an iteration of that. And BioShock, they already did an iteration of. And so I don't think we're ever going to get any of the video games that I want. And the fact that we're not giving Five Nights at Freddy's is just crazy.
No anime related ones either.
No anime. So. We had that anime rumor last year. But also that opens me up to be like, let's see where we go then. Yeah. I'd like an off year. We've had too many Stranger Things and Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice and all these huge IPs. I'm ready for it to go back to just hey, here's titles you recognize.
But I think we'll just also have to get used to them bringing back things as well.
Right. We're in that era.
And that's fine. You do repeat houses. I look forward to repeat houses. I would love to see some of my favorite houses again.
100%.
And some of the houses that might not have hit as hard. Okay, give it another shot. Remake it.
Yeah.
I
saw someone on the forum saying we need another run house, and I agree. I love the run houses.
Okay, Brian, what if they brought back Dead End? Perfect recreation. You and I, it'd be
why have we not gotten another Dead End?
It would be our number one hyped house, and we did
100%,
it. And we did it. So
yeah.
But it's it's been long enough. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we've seen other things brought back. We've seen, the Nightingales, and we've seen Dead Exposure. Let's see Dead End. Let's see some other stuff. And we do. We have the Scare Zone, the Sweet Candy Zone, which I'm trying to be optimistic about as a house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm intrigued. So if you had to ask me right now, knowing nothing, my most intrigued house is Sprung 1, only because I see that freaking Minotaur and I think of Hades. Hades was for the longest time my number one house for probably 8 years.
Oh wow!
I freaking loved that house. It was that was the first house I crawled out of. I was laughing hysterically. I couldn't breathe. The scares were incredible. The set, it was the perfect original house until a few houses hit. But for a very long time, Hades was my everybody holds the new houses to a certain standard. Hades was my standard. That house and Nightingales were the top two. So I'm hopeful that we're gonna get something in the same vein as that.
So, I mean, that covers the spec map, but Brian, so you think that by the end of Sunday,
11:59 p.m.
we're
Central
going to have a Ghostbusters announcement? Do you think we're going to have dates?
I think we'll have dates, tickets, and Ghostbusters.
All right. I won't include the dates and the tickets, and you just want, if Ghostbusters is announced, you'll get it.
Okay.
Full point.
Can I get an extra point?
No.
Dang.
What would the extra point? No, I'm not even.
If I get dates and tickets.
No, because that's easy. That's easy. I'm already giving you a full point just for Ghostbusters, which is pretty much a lock.
So I should pull off the dates and
no.
Okay.
Plus, we have to take turns on our predictions.
That's true.
I can't just give you all the predictions at the beginning. You're like, okay, so it's the longest event ever. Ghostbusters is coming. It's going to be in Orlando. It's what.
All right. Well, next episode. We're talking predictions. It's a big episode.
One of our top episodes. At least it's one of my favorites.
It is one of the best ones. I got to start working on mine because I don't know, man.
I know. Actually, I'll actually have to at work tomorrow work on some predictions. I think we need a veto. Okay, I'm just gonna pitch that we veto longest event. It's got to be more creative than that.
Okay, he's vetoing his own prediction.
Well, you could have taken it too, so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
But, and also, I want it to be spicy.
Does that also veto the shortest event?
That they've ever done?
Years?
Less than one day?
Not that they've ever done. But like shortest event of the new era.
No.
Is that too...
I think it's a little bit too generic.
All right. We'll get more specific.
So.
Can I make a prediction that my friends are going to gag eating the gross hot dog again?
Okay, if you predict the exact hot dog, because last time that's how you got a point. You predicted that the Chucky burger was not going to come back. I literally had to compare because they brought back a Chucky burger, but they changed the ingredients in it.
Burger was bomb though. The peanut butter blood burger was so much better. I actually had
to do research, Brian, to figure out which ingredients were used in the two different burgers to verify whether you get the point or not.
I got that point, boy. It was gross. That first burger was gross. This one was good. And if the last 3 years of food have shown us anything, they're gonna gross us out. They're gonna bring something nasty. I mean, we ordered that hot dog, and even the lady at the cashier was like, "You know,
you really?
Yeah, you know,
was it like the Carnival or something like that?
The confetti bun, bubblegum mustard.
Oh my gosh! But we're gonna be doing predictions our next episode.
And Leah's gonna join us.
She is. So I guess we got to come up with even more predictions.
We do.
So,
man, I can't wait because there's I'm not playing this game. For anybody doing Rest in Peace Tour or anything like that, if they announce tickets, if you call for the Rest in Peace Tour pricing, just know it's going to go up the next time you call.
Yeah.
Every time I've ever booked the Rest in Peace Tour, if you wait even a little bit, they say it's like, pulse pricing or whatever.
It's like Wendy's.
It's like it's like Wendy's. If it's busier, they're gonna pulse it and make it more expensive. Just get ready. Know when you call, you need to book. That's what I'm doing.
Just throw down the credit card.
And I meant it. This is what I want to tell you. Guess what I signed up for, Ryan?
I don't know. What did you sign up for?
I signed up for the Wine and Dine Half Marathon at Disney. And guess what that is, Ryan?
When is it?
It is November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Oh, there you go.
Will this be the year that I get to close out HHN again, huh?
Maybe.
Are you going to be there? Could we do it? I don't know. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Not to run, but to do HHN again.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It is.
I mean, that's going to be a marathon in and of itself.
It is. Could you imagine doing a half marathon and going to freaking out?
Okay, but realistic. I guess, how do you do an HHN marathon?
That's a great question.
Because I feel like they're missing an opportunity to have some sort of HHN run.
My dream. Could you imagine? Because I actually pitched this to a local haunt who is an outdoor trail haunt. And I said, hey, could I use your property to do a Halloween run event? And he said, no, too much liability. Fair. Imagine if you open the park and every sound stage, don't even have characters, Just have the sets and sounds on, and you run through the entire park, including all 10 houses.
That'd be pretty awesome.
I would pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
Lot of money.
And they just
'Cause guess
randomly do have scare actors at certain points.
Scary,
Like you run for like 5 minutes,
ankle.
not even, and then all of a sudden Vecna comes out and just
I would die. Everybody would
with his
fall.
trigger, and you just, or
I mean,
Eddie with his chainsaw.
I'm paying how much to run through Disney's parking lots.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could charge a fair amount. The Night Before Christmas clock, cuckoo clock's going off, which means that's time. Ryan, do you have anything else before we
That
meet
is
again?
it. Well, we'll be recording soon. We'll pop out another one here next week or two.
Ew.
So,
All right.
ew.
Yeah. All
right.
Okay, well, pop those out.
Well, that was another episode. You guys know what to do. We done?
dude, could you imagine if we got that silence?